Picture this. You're nearing the finish line of a long, hard marathon. You've pushed through years of effort, sacrifice, and triumphs, every step a testament to your strength. Now every moment counts. Your peace, your joy, your time, they're precious. But then someone steps in your path. A friend, a sibling, a neighbor. Someone with demands that weigh you down. They ask for your energy, your resources, your heart. Stop right there. You are not their lifeline. You are not here to carry their burdens or sacrifice your calm for their chaos. This is your life, your story. And at this stage, you deserve to protect it. Let's be real. Some people will ask for things they have no right to. They'll reach for your time, your money, your emotional strength as if it's theirs to take. These aren't small requests. They're thefts of your peace. Have you ever felt like an emotional ATM, always giving, always drained, while others just watch? It's exhausting, it's unfair. You've worked too hard, loved too deeply to let your happiness slip away. That's why we're here to open your eyes to speak the truths others avoid. This isn't about guilt or obligation. It's about reclaiming what's yours. In this journey, we'll uncover 5 things no one should ever ask of you. These are demands that chip away at your well-being, demands you can and should refuse. Stay with us, because this could be the wake-up call you need, the sign to close doors you never should have opened. Your peace is not negotiable. You've earned the right to live fully, to savor the calm you've fought for. So take a deep breath. Let's dive in and learn how to say no, how to stand firm, how to choose yourself. Because anything that steals your peace isn't worth your time. You've reached a point in life where every moment counts. You've worked hard, sacrificed, and built a life that deserves peace. But then someone comes along. Someone who sees your kindness, your strength, and decides to lean on it. They ask you to carry a burden that isn't yours, to fix their problems, to shoulder their responsibilities, to become their lifeline. This is the first demand you should never accept, taking responsibility for what doesn't belong to you. It's a trap that starts small, feels innocent, but grows heavy. So heavy it can steal your peace, your energy, and your joy. Let's talk about why this happens, what it costs you, and how to protect yourself. Picture this. Someone close, maybe a sibling, a child, or a friend, comes to you with a request. It's just a small favor, they say. Just this once, they promise. Maybe it's helping with their finances, watching their kids, or solving a problem they created. You say yes because you care, because you don't want to seem selfish, because you think it's what love looks like. But that small favor turns into another and another until you're carrying a load you never signed up for. Suddenly, you're not just helping. You're holding up their entire world. You're the pillar, the safety net, the one keeping everything together. And while you're drowning under the weight, they're moving on, expecting you to keep carrying it. This isn't a new story. You've felt it before, haven't you? That moment when you realize you're solving someone else's mess, while your own needs fade into the background. It's like being handed a rope and told to pull only to find it's tied to a sinking ship. The more you pull, the more it drags you down. That rope is you, your energy, your time, your peace. And when it snaps, you're left exhausted, drained, and wondering how you got there. The truth is, you were never meant to be their lifeline. You were never meant to carry what they refuse to handle themselves. Why do people ask this of you? Because they see your strength. They see your love, your sense of duty, and they lean into it. They don't always mean harm. Sometimes they don't even realize what they're doing. But intent doesn't change the impact. When you take on their responsibilities, you're not just giving your time or your money. You're giving away your emotional health. You're letting their problems invade your peace, and that price is too high. You've spent years building a life, raising a family, working through challenges. You've earned the right to enjoy what you've created, not to spend it fixing what others have broken. Think about it. You're not a bank, but they ask for money. You're not a babysitter, yet they expect you to raise their kids. You're not a therapist, but they unload their emotional baggage on you. And if you dare say no, if you dare set a boundary, suddenly you're the villain. They judge you, guilt you, make you feel like you're letting them down. But who's looking out for you? Who's asking how you feel, what you need, what you want? The truth stings, but here it is. Some people see you as a resource, not a person. They take your kindness and turn it into an obligation. And that's not love, it's exploitation. You've given enough. You've loved, sacrificed, and carried more than anyone could ask. So why keep holding on to burdens that were never yours? It's not your job to fix their mistakes, to clean up their messes, or to save them from themselves. Love doesn't mean saying yes to everything. Love means knowing when to say no, when to protect your peace, when to choose yourself. Because if you keep carrying their weight, you'll lose the strength to carry your own dreams, your own happiness, your own life. So how do you break free? Start by recognizing the pattern. Notice when a favor feels like a demand, when help turns into obligation. Ask yourself, is this my responsibility? Does this belong to me? If the answer is no, let it go. You don't have to explain or justify. You don't have to feel guilty. Saying no isn't selfish. It's self-respect. It's standing up for the life you've worked so hard to build. It's choosing peace over chaos, joy over resentment, you over them. This isn't about closing your heart. It's about opening your eyes. You can still care, still love, still support in ways that don't drain you. But you can't keep carrying what isn't yours. Life is too short and your peace is too precious. At this stage, you deserve to live for you, to enjoy the calm you've earned, to chase the dreams you've put on hold. Don't let anyone pull you back into their storm. You're not their lifeline. You're your own. And that's a truth worth protecting. Let's move to the second request. You should never feel obligated to fulfill lending money without careful thought. Picture this. You're finally at a stage in life where you can savor a moment of peace. Maybe you're sipping your morning coffee, watching the world wake up, feeling the calm you've worked so hard to earn. Then your phone buzzes. It's a call from someone close. A child, a sibling, a cousin, or an old friend. You answer expecting a warm check-in, but instead you hear those familiar words. Can you help me out? I need a loan. It's not just a one-time ask. It's a request that feels like it's been rehearsed before. And deep down, you know this isn't just about money. It's about your peace, your stability, and the life you've built. Saying yes might seem like kindness, but it can become one of the costliest decisions you ever make. Lending money at this point in your life isn't just a financial transaction. It's a gamble with your emotional well-being, a direct hit to the tranquility you've fought for. What starts as a small favor, a temporary fix, often spirals into a cycle of dependence. You lend once thinking it's a one-off, but soon it becomes a pattern. They come back again and again, each request chipping away at your savings, your security, and your peace of mind. You're not a bank. You're a person with your own needs, your own dreams, your own future to protect. Yet the moment you hand over that money, you're handing over more than cash. You're giving away your trust, your stability, and sometimes your hope that things will be repaid as promised. Think about it. How many stories have you heard where a loan to a loved one turned into a nightmare? The money you lent, money you worked years to save, vanishes. Promises of repayment fade into excuses, and what's left, tension, resentment, and a fractured relationship. you're not just out of pocket, you're out of peace. Imagine a sudden health issue, a car repair, or an unexpected expense. What happens if you need that money back and it's gone? You're not at an age to start over financially, to rebuild from zero. Every dollar you've saved is a piece of your hard-earned freedom, a buffer for the life you deserve to enjoy. Lending it out without caution is like leaving your front door wide open, hoping no one walks in and takes what's yours. By the time you realize the cost, it's often too late. This isn't about being stingy or turning your back on those you love. It's about self-respect, about recognizing that your financial security is not a resource for others to tap into whenever they please. People might call it a loan, but too often it's a gift they never intend to return. And the worst part, they don't just take your money. They take your peace, leaving you to carry the stress of their choices. You might hear, "But your family, you have to help." Or, "It's just this once." Those words tug at your heart, wrapped in guilt or emotional blackmail. But let's be clear, you are under no obligation to save someone if it means risking your own stability. True love doesn't demand that you drown so someone else can float. Here's the hard truth. People who truly care about you don't put you in a position where your generosity becomes a burden. They don't expect you to sacrifice your future to fix their present. If someone only reaches out when they need something, ask yourself, is this love, or is it dependence disguised as affection? The answer matters, because every time you say yes to a loan you can't afford, you're saying no to your own peace, your own dreams, your own right to a life free of unnecessary stress. You've worked too hard, given too much, to let your kindness be turned into a trap. So what can you do? Set boundaries. Unless it's a genuine emergency like a medical crisis, say no. It's not easy, especially when tears or sweet words are involved, but it's necessary. Ask yourself, will this loan cost me more than money? Will it steal my peace? Will it leave me vulnerable? If the answer to any of these is yes, you know what to do. Protect what you've built. Your savings are not a community fund. They're your safety net, your reward for years of effort. Saying no isn't selfish. It's wise. It's choosing yourself, your future, and your well-being over someone else's convenience. This is your life, your time, your peace. Don't let anyone guilt you into giving it away. If they can't respect your boundaries, they don't deserve your generosity. You've earned the right to enjoy what you've built, to live without the weight of others' demands. So the next time someone asks for a loan, pause. Think about what's at stake. Your peace of mind is worth more than any amount of money. Protect it fiercely, because once it's gone, it's not as easy to get back as they promise. Now let's talk about another request that can pull you into a storm you never signed up for. Picture this. You're finally at a stage in life where you've earned your peace. A moment to breathe, to enjoy the calm after years of hard work and sacrifice. But then, someone close to you, maybe a son, a daughter, or a sibling, comes with a plea. They want you to step into a family conflict, to play mediator in a fight you didn't start. They say things like, "Mom, Dad, you have to talk to my brother. Things are falling apart." Or, "Can't you do something to fix this?" And before you know it, you're standing in the middle of a battlefield that's not yours. You're caught in the crossfire of arguments, emotions, and tensions that belong to others. This isn't just a request for help. It's a demand that risks your peace, your happiness, and your well-being, and you need to recognize it for what it is. Family conflicts are like quicksand. They seem manageable at first. A small disagreement, a misunderstanding, something you think you can smooth over with a calm word or a kind gesture. But the moment you step in, you realize you're sinking. The more you try to fix things, the deeper you get pulled into the chaos. Suddenly, you're not just a mediator, you're a target. You're hearing accusations, taking sides you never chose, and carrying the emotional weight of a fight that isn't yours. Imagine your children arguing over something as personal as your home, the place you built with love, sweat, and years of effort. To you, it's a sanctuary filled with memories. To them, it becomes a prize to be won, a source of division. And there you are, trying to hold it all together, watching something sacred turn into a battleground. It's heartbreaking. It's exhausting. It's unfair. Why does this happen? Because people see you as the steady hand, the wise one, the person who can fix anything. They lean on your strength, your love, your sense of duty. But what they don't see is the cost to you. Every time you step into their conflict, you're giving away pieces of your peace. You're trading your calm for their chaos. You're sacrificing your energy to solve problems that were never yours to begin with. And the worst part? Most of the time, you can't even fix it. These fights, whether they're about money, relationships, or old grudges, are often rooted in deeper issues that only those involved can resolve. By stepping in, you're not saving the day. You're fueling the fire. You're giving them reasons to keep fighting, to drag it out, to pull you further into their storm. And in the end, you're the one left drained, frustrated, and wondering why you ever got involved. This isn't about turning your back on family. It's about recognizing that some battles aren't yours to fight. You can't save others by drowning in their problems. You've spent a lifetime giving, raising children, supporting loved ones, carrying burdens heavier than anyone could imagine. Now, at this stage of your life, you deserve to protect what you've earned: your peace, your joy, your right to live without being pulled into someone else's drama. When someone asks you to mediate a family conflict, pause and ask yourself, is this worth my peace? Can I really change what's broken here, or am I just setting myself up to lose? Because the truth is, you can't fix what's already fractured in someone else's heart. You can't mend relationships that others aren't ready to repair, and you shouldn't have to pay the price for trying. Saying no to this request isn't selfish, it's self-respect. It's standing up for your right to live in calm, to enjoy the life you've built, to focus on what brings you joy instead of what tears you apart. If your children or siblings want you to step into their arguments, they need to understand that your role isn't to be their referee. Your role is to be you, to live authentically, to cherish your peace, to honor the wisdom and strength you've gained over the years. Don't let their conflicts become your burden. Don't let their chaos steal your calm. You deserve better than that. So the next time someone tries to pull you into a family dispute, take a deep breath and remember your peace is priceless. You don't have to say yes just because it's family. You don't have to sacrifice your happiness to prove your love. Draw that line. Protect your well-being. Choose yourself. Because at this stage of life, after all you've given, you owe it to yourself to live in peace, not in someone else's storm. Your heart, your time, your energy, they're yours to cherish, not to give away to fights that don't belong to you. Now let's talk about something deeply personal, something that cuts straight to the core of who you are. Imagine this. You've spent decades building a life that reflects you, your choices, your joys, your essence. Every habit, every preference, every small thing that lights up your soul. It's all part of the story you've written through years of effort, sacrifice, and growth. And then someone close to you, maybe a child, a sibling, or a friend, starts asking you to change. Not just a small tweak, but the very things that define you. They question the way you dress, the music you love, the way you speak, as if your way of living is somehow wrong, outdated, out of place. It's like they're saying your time is past and you need to rewrite yourself to fit their world. That's not just a request. It's a direct hit to your heart, to your identity, to everything you fought to become. Picture this scene. You're wearing a favorite outfit, one that makes you feel alive, vibrant, like the truest version of yourself. Maybe it's a colorful dress that reminds you of your youth, or a classic jacket that carries memories of your boldest days. And someone says, "Why do you dress like that? It's not your age." Or maybe you're humming along to a song that takes you back to a moment when life felt limitless and you hear, "That music is so old-fashioned. Can't you listen to something modern?" These aren't just comments. They're attempts to erase pieces of you, to make you feel like your story no longer matters. They're telling you that the things that bring you joy, the things that make you you, are somehow invalid. And that's a wound no one should have to carry. Why does this happen? Because sometimes the people around you, even those you love, struggle to see your value through the lens of their own expectations. They want you to conform, to blend into their idea of what's acceptable, as if your experiences, your wisdom, your unique spark need an update. But let's be clear. Your life, your choices, your passions, they're not up for debate. You've earned the right to live in a way that feels true to you. You've walked through years of challenges, learned lessons, and built a life that reflects your journey. Why should you have to change that just to make someone else comfortable? Why should your happiness take a backseat to their preferences? This demand to change who you are or how you live is more than just a suggestion. It's an attempt to strip away your authenticity. It's like being asked to erase the chapters of your story that make you proud just to fit into someone else's narrative. And the worst part, if you give in, if you start doubting yourself and molding your life to their expectations, you risk losing something irreplaceable. Your essence, your joy, the very things that make you feel alive. Imagine waking up one day and realizing you've traded your favorite songs, your bold style, your unique way of seeing the world just to avoid criticism. That's not just a loss, it's a tragedy. Because once you let go of what makes you you, it's hard to get it back. Let's be honest. No one has the right to tell you how to live, especially not after everything you've been through. Your habits, your tastes, the way you carry yourself, they're not flaws to be fixed. They're badges of a life well lived, a life full of experiences that have shaped you into someone remarkable. When someone asks you to change, they're not just dismissing your choices, they're dismissing your story. And that story, with all its highs and lows, is what makes you extraordinary. You don't need to update yourself to fit into their world. You don't need to dim your light to make them feel at ease. You've earned the freedom to be exactly who you are. So what do you do when this demand comes knocking? You stand firm. You say no, not out of anger but out of self-respect. You keep wearing that dress that makes you feel unstoppable. You keep playing that music that takes you back to your best days. You keep speaking your truth, living your life, embracing the things that bring you joy. Because those things aren't just preferences, they're pieces of your soul. And no one, no matter how close they are, has the right to ask you to give them up. This isn't about being stubborn. It's about honoring the life you've built. It's about recognizing that your authenticity is your greatest treasure. You've spent years earning the right to live on your terms, to find peace in the things that make you happy. Don't let anyone take that away. If they can't celebrate who you are, if they can't see the value in your story, that's their loss, not yours. Your life is yours to live, and you deserve to live it fully, unapologetically, and without compromise. Because at this stage, after all you've done, all you've overcome, you deserve to be yourself, wholly freely and without apology. Now let's talk about a demand that cuts deep. One that sneaks into your heart and tries to rewrite your priorities. It's when someone you care about, a child, a sibling, a close friend, asks you to put their feelings above your own. It's as if they're saying without saying it out loud that your happiness doesn't matter anymore. That because you've lived a full life, because you've reached this stage, your needs, your desires, your peace should take a back seat. Picture this. Someone you love looks at you and says, "Mom, Dad, why can't you just do what I want? It would make me feel better." Or maybe it's subtler. They guilt you with a sigh, a tear, or a quiet, "If you loved me, you'd do this." Suddenly you're trapped, caught in a web of emotional manipulation that makes you feel like your own feelings are secondary. This isn't just a request. It's a direct hit to your well-being, a blow to the peace you've fought so hard to build. Imagine you're finally carving out time for yourself. Maybe you're savoring a quiet morning, planning a trip you've always dreamed of, or simply enjoying the freedom to live on your terms. Then someone close to you steps in. They say your choices are causing them discomfort, that your decisions, whether it's how you spend your time, who you spend it with, or what brings you joy, are somehow disrupting their peace. They might say, "Don't put me in this position," or, "If you do this, you're hurting me." And just like that, you're made to feel like your happiness is a problem, as if your life should revolve around keeping them comfortable, keeping them content, while your own needs fade into the background. This is emotional blackmail, plain and simple. It's not love, it's control, and it's a demand no one has the right to make. Your life at this stage is a tapestry woven from years of sacrifice, hard work, and lessons learned. You've earned the right to prioritize what makes you feel alive, what brings you peace. Yet here comes someone telling you to dim your light, so theirs can shine brighter. They might not say it outright, but the message is clear. Your feelings don't matter as much as theirs. They expect you to set aside your dreams, your joys, your boundaries just to ease their emotional discomfort. But let's be clear. Your happiness is not a bargaining chip. Your peace is not something to be traded away to make someone else feel better. When you give in to these demands, you're not just sacrificing a moment. You're sacrificing a piece of yourself, a piece of the life you've built, the life you deserve. The truth stings, but it's liberating. No one, not your child, not your sibling, not your closest friend, has the right to ask you to cancel yourself out. To put their emotional needs above your own is to ask you to betray who you are. Imagine the cost. You start saying yes to their demands, pushing your own desires aside. You stop doing what fulfills you because it makes them uncomfortable. You silence your voice to avoid their disapproval. Slowly you become a shadow in your own story, a supporting character in someone else's life. That's not what you were meant for. You were meant to shine, to live fully, to embrace this chapter of your life with joy and freedom, not to shrink yourself to fit someone else's expectations. So what do you do when faced with this demand? You pause. You take a deep breath, and you ask yourself, why should my happiness come second? If someone is asking you to prioritize their feelings over yours, they're asking you to pay a price that's far too high. Your well-being is not negotiable. Your peace is not a currency to be spent on someone else's comfort. Saying no isn't selfish. It's self-love. It's standing up for the life you've earned, the peace you've built, the joy you deserve. You can love someone deeply and still refuse to let their emotions dictate your choices. You can care for them without sacrificing your own light. This is your time. You've spent years giving loving and carrying burdens that weren't always yours. Now it's about you. It's about choosing what fills your heart, what brings you calm, what makes you feel whole. If someone asks you to put their feelings above your own to dim your joy so they can feel at ease, don't do it. Draw the line. Protect your peace. Because in the end, no one will prioritize your happiness if you don't. Your life is yours to live, yours to shape, yours to cherish. Don't let anyone convince you otherwise. You are not here to live for others. You are here to live for you, to embrace every moment of this precious chapter with authenticity and joy. Here we are at the heart of it all. You've journeyed through the sacrifices, the joys, and the countless obstacles of life. Now you're in a season where every moment counts, where your peace is not just a luxury but a necessity. You've learned about the 5 things no one should ever ask of you, carrying burdens that aren't yours, lending money that risks your stability, mediating conflicts that don't belong to you, changing who you are, or putting someone else's feelings above your own. These aren't just requests. They're threats to your happiness, your tranquility, your very essence. This conclusion isn't about shutting people out. It's about standing up for yourself, about claiming the life you've earned, about prioritizing your peace and autonomy above all else. At this stage of your life, you've given enough. You've loved fiercely, worked tirelessly, and carried more than anyone could imagine. You've been the pillar, the supporter, the one who says yes when your heart whispers no. But now it's time to shift the focus. It's time to put yourself first. Not out of selfishness, but out of self-respect. You've built a life filled with meaning, with memories, with hard-won wisdom. Why should you let anyone steal that from you? Why should you carry the weight of someone else's mistakes, their conflicts, or their emotional demands? The answer is simple: you shouldn't. Your peace is priceless. Your happiness is non-negotiable. Your life is yours to live. Think about it. Every time you say yes to something that drains you, you're saying no to yourself. Every time you take on a burden that isn't yours, you're giving away a piece of your tranquility. Every time you change who you are to fit someone else's expectations, you're dimming your own light. And for what? To avoid guilt. To keep the peace for others while sacrificing your own. That's not love. That's loss. You are not an emotional ATM, a lifeline for others to cling to, or a pawn in someone else's game. You are a person with dreams, with needs, with a right to live fully and freely. And at this point in your life, that right is sacred. Saying no isn't easy. It feels heavy, especially when it comes from someone you love, a child, a sibling, a friend. Their tears, their pleas, their subtle guilt trips can make you feel like you're letting them down. But here's the truth: saying no is not a betrayal. It's a boundary. It's a declaration that your peace matters, that your happiness is worth protecting. When someone asks you to carry their responsibilities, to risk your financial stability, to mediate their fights, or to erase parts of who you are, they're not just asking for help. They're asking you to sacrifice yourself. And you deserve better than that. You deserve to wake up each morning knowing that your life is yours, not a patchwork of other people's demands. Imagine a life where you say yes to yourself. A life where you savor your morning coffee without the weight of someone else's problems. A life where you wear what makes you feel alive, listen to the music that stirs your soul, and make choices that bring you joy. This isn't a fantasy. It's a choice. A choice to set boundaries, to protect your peace, to live in alignment with what makes you whole. You've spent years building this life through hard work, through love, through every challenge you've overcome. Don't let anyone take that away from you. Don't let their drama, their needs, or their expectations pull you into a storm you didn't create. The truth stings, but it also sets you free. No one has the right to demand that you put their happiness above your own. No one has the right to make you feel small for choosing yourself. Your life is not a stage for others to direct. It's a story for you to write, so write it boldly. Say no when you need to. Walk away from conflicts that aren't yours. Protect your financial and emotional stability with fierce determination. Celebrate who you are, your habits, your passions, your unique way of living, because those things aren't just details, they're the essence of you. And that essence is worth defending. This is your time. Your time to live, not just survive. Your time to enjoy the fruits of your labor, to chase the dreams you've put on hold, to find peace in the quiet moments. Don't let anyone steal that from you. Not with guilt, not with demands, not with emotional blackmail. You are not here to fix their broken pieces or to carry their burdens. You are here to live fully, to love yourself fiercely, to embrace the life you've earned. So the next time someone asks you to give up your peace, your identity, or your happiness, pause. Ask yourself, is this worth my tranquility? Is this worth my light? And if the answer is no, walk away, because your peace, your autonomy, your joy, they're not up for negotiation. You deserve to live a life that's yours whole and unbroken now and always.